Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So this is it, my new phone, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, and it's the newest and shiniest and fanciest of flagships. For the next couple of months anyway. Now, the review is coming soon, so don't worry, but in the meantime I can bring you guys a camera comparison between it and the older S10 Plus that it's replacing. Now, when all the reviews first dropped on this phone, many were actually complaining about its camera performance, and since then Samsung have dropped a software update in which they specifically mentioned that camera performance had been improved across the board. So let's check it out and see if their efforts paid off. We kick things off with a shot using the widest lenses available on both phones. It's actually the S10 Plus which goes the widest, but at the cost of some more barrel distortion around the edges. The S21 Ultra is a clear winner with a more realistic color tone and better handling of the highlights. We move on to the main sensor and the two images are quite different. The S21 produces a more realistic, albeit dull image, whilst the S10 Plus adds color saturation, which I'd argue isn't a terrible idea in this particular image. But technically the S21 wins for accuracy. Moving into Telephoto, it's a similar story. It's worth noting that the S21 Ultra has a 3x optical zoom here, whilst the S10 Plus only has 2x. In the next picture, it's total domination from the S21 Ultra, but that is to be expected, with it having a fourth 10x optical zoom lens, whilst the S10 Plus has to make do with digital zoom. The result is the S21 brings out far more detail and sharpness even when zooming in digitally. Speaking of which, the S21 Ultra's 100x space zoom is worth a quick mention. At this point, the phone is also zooming digitally, so the end result is not going to blow you away. It's technically impressive and is surprisingly easy to use with Samsung's screen lock, which lets you tap on the image to apply electronic image stabilization, but it's unlikely to ever produce a picture you'd hang on the wall. The best use case for this could be to read some text that's very far away, or you can show it off to your friends. But never mind the space zoom, the 10x optical zoom is a bigger deal than I would have imagined. Up until now, I've looked at the telephoto lens as something nice to have, but I never wanted to use it. Usually I could get away with using the main camera and just taking a step forward. But now I can take pictures of things from far away, like these ducks, or this bird, or this bridge. It's not the fastest lens, these twitchy birds were difficult to capture, but if your subject is static, it works really well. Here we're back to the main cameras and a theme is starting to emerge. The S10 Plus is relying on lots of saturation to make the image pop, but at the expense of realism. For example, the top of this building here was in fact grey, but on the S10 Plus looks more bluish. The S21 Ultra may be adding some sharpening to the image in post-processing, which makes it look a bit more detailed, but I think it would be more detailed even without it. In this image, the S21 once again handles the scene with more realism and just a bit more polish than the S10 Plus. The S21 Ultra can also produce more of the blurry background, which a lot of people will enjoy. It is mostly software trickery, but it's done quite well, and the S21 handles the bright and dark parts of the image better. In this example, we again see the S21 Ultra looking more natural, sharper, and a bit less distorted around the edges. I know everyone likes a good sunset, so I threw this in as a bonus. Once again, the S21 Ultra takes the cake with all of its lenses, colors are more accurate, and the dynamic range is better. Moving on to night shots, and in this first picture, I have to say the S10 Plus did a great job. It's still a bit oversaturated, but the two phones are very close in this shot. However, in this one, the S10 Plus is clearly behind. In order to get more details from the eye, the rest of the image is way underexposed and you can barely see the bike standing in front. Plus, the eye itself doesn't look all that great either. The S21 nails it in comparison. Same story in this image. The S10 Plus just can't keep up and misses out on lots of detail from the darker parts of the scene. But if you get the right shot, the S10 Plus still holds up well. The S21 Ultra wins again with more lifelike colors and less blooming around the text, but it's a close one. It's also worth mentioning that the S21 Ultra is much quicker at taking these shots, which means you're less likely to get blurry pictures. I need to do more testing with video, but from the shots I've taken so far, to be honest, neither of the phones blew me away. In fairness, this was a tricky scene with the sun shining into the lenses, and the S21 Ultra did handle lens flaring better.
but neither were particularly well stabilized. You can enable super steady mode on both phones, which adds some additional stabilization at the expense of cropping the video more. Both phones do pretty well, but the S21 Ultra seems to remove the shaking from footsteps a bit better. Moving on to super slow motion video, I think the S21 Ultra wins again. Both phones are recording at 960 frames per second and both in 720p. The S10 Plus seems to crop in much further, so the S21 will be more versatile, and it seems much better at capturing what you want. I did multiple tests side by side, pressing the record button at the exact same time, and every time the S10 Plus doesn't quite get it right, whereas the S21 Ultra does, or at least does better. In this other example, which was taken before the S21 had its software update, it again wins hands down. It's just more detailed and more usable. The S21 Ultra wins at selfies too, with a more natural skin tone and more details in the face. Speaking of selfies, if you're into vlogging, the S21 Ultra is a considerable upgrade over the S10 Plus in both video and audio quality. Check it out.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So I'm outside now and we're doing the audio test. The weather is kind of miserable, hence this very stylish hat that you're looking at. So right now you're hearing the Galaxy S10 Plus, and now you're hearing the Galaxy S21 Ultra. So I don't know, I haven't compared these before, I have no idea which one's going to be better. Hopefully the S21 Ultra, because that is the new phone and the one that I forked out for. So yeah, back to the studio.
The S21 Ultra also has a neat trick by being able to record on both front and rear cameras at the same time. Excuse the shaky video, in this case we can blame my hands that were freezing off from the cold weather. It also wins at taking pictures of food if you're into doing that. And one more cherry on top for the S21 Ultra is that it is surprisingly capable at taking macro pictures as well. When you get close enough to something, the camera switches to the ultra-wide lens and lets you focus in much closer than the S10 Plus.
So, that wraps up the comparison. Now, the S10 Plus really did put up a good fight considering that it's 2 years old, and since image quality is kind of a subjective topic, some people may even prefer the more vibrant and oversaturated images that it takes. But in my opinion, it is a clear win for the S21 Ultra. It just handles almost every scenario with a little bit more grace and more realism. Not to mention it has way more tools at its disposal to help you get the shot you're looking for. And in practice I found it much quicker and more reliable to use, which means there's a better chance you're going to end up getting the shots you really wanted. Let us know in the comments down below which camera you preferred. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, it helps the channel out a ton. If you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.